Heading into week number 7 of the British Columbia Football Conference season, and 2 head coaches that will go head-to-head for the second time this year, Curtis Vizza with the Vancouver Island Raiders and Rob Ellis with the Kamloops Broncos. And guys, as we always do, let's start by looking back before we look ahead. Curtis, we'll start with you. Assessments from the home loss against Langley.
Well, I could sum it up pretty easily, Dom. We got our ass kicked. Right from they ran the ball off the get-go right down our throat. We churned out 400 yards, without the losses, 377 with the losses. But we get to our red zone and we make mistakes. That game for us, wasn't a lot of positive take from it. The guys, played hard, but when it came down to it, Langley came down there and kicked our ass.
Rob, what was your takeaway overall from your team's game against Okanagan last weekend?
Well, I could just send you the same recording from every game, I guess. We keep it tight, and then all of a sudden we face adversity like we did against the Raiders the last time we played them, and we let a deep ball in right before the half, and the game changes. And then a couple more mistakes in the third quarter, and we're behind. Right, it was 8-0 going into the second quarter. We need to get some consistency on offense. Teams are starting to recognize our weaknesses, and there are a few there. So we just need to be smarter with our ball control and our play selection. Defense hang us in there, right? And then special teams gave up a block punt for a TD. So just little things here and there that we were still such a young team. We only graduate maybe 1 or 2 players this year. Everybody else is 19 and 20. So learning every game, and the kids are still coming out, still battling hard. So and they're looking forward to this game. Raiders are a class organization, so it should be a fun game.
Rob, how do you fight the frustration? I mean, I'm sure it's there, and you always come on and talk to me, and you're so eloquent, and you put a real sort of positive take on it. But how do you fight against like you said, same thing every week?
It's hard. I mean, I won't lie to you. I mean, it's tough to keep. These kids are warriors. They want to win, and it's frustrating because they're in these games, and it just maybe with the exception of the Langley game, that there's opportunity for them to squeak out a win potentially, and it's so I say to them, our motto is have a short memory, and go into the next game with the focus of winning. Win the play is basically what we say. Don't worry about the game, don't worry about the quarter, but win the play.
Curtis, really, outside of the loss in the game, a really tough one for your organization. All Canadian level season coming from the safety position in the defensive secondary with Jeremy Chang. And he suffers what looks to me, I think it was a broken ankle, was the final determination. He's been in surgery. His season over, I'm sure. Just try and talk me through how this one hits with this group. I think it goes far beyond the position player.
Yeah, 100% beyond position. He's been a leader here for a long time. Personally, I've known Jeremy since he was about 12 years old. I remember owning a business, having him and his dad roll in the gym and being this little pinner kid, and then all of a sudden becomes this amazing football player, great person, leader, right? Just does it all. Anything you want from a young man, he kind of delivers. So for us, we're definitely losing that on and off the field. But the one thing when we were in talks with me, that he's become Coach Chang. So he'll be out here at the first opportunity, because that's the one thing we tell everyone here, that once you've been here, you're family. And for us and for him to be here and continue to be part of it, help keep the spirits a bit higher. His expertise and the understanding of how to win and what it takes, he'll deliver day in, day out if he's playing or not. So that's the kind of kid that, we'd love to hang our hat on as a program. So he'll be around. He'll hopefully on the sideline, maybe not this week, but maybe the week after. So, it hurts. It hurts in every facet, but we're going to make sure that we're there for him as much as he's been there for us.
Yeah, and certainly I know everyone at the Bcfc sending their best to Jeremy Chang and his family right now. And Rob, I know that, you, I'm sure, have scouted and watched the film of Jeremy Chang and that Raiders secondary and what he can do around that ball and the way he attacks the ball. What were some of the observations from the opposing coach of a player like that?
Oh, we always know where he is on the field. It doesn't help us all the time, but we're well aware of him. The Raiders have some really good defensive players, right? So, and it's a strong defense. So, I guess for us, it's keeping it away from their stars as much as possible. Short possession game. There's things that we can do on offense that we haven't done yet. And like Curtis says, not only was he a good player, or is he a good player, but he is a phenomenal character too, and leader on the team. So it's a tough loss for them, and condolences for us for him for the season for sure. But like I said, I think Curtis said it also. Those kids that have such resolve, they come back and just help the team any way they can as coach or whatever. So he was we always, like I said, we're aware of where he is on the field and try to steer away from him.
Rob, aside from getting a victory, I'm sure that's the obvious, but what are some things or a thing that would make the final 4 weeks of the season a success? Feel like there was some growth and something to hang your hat on moving ahead to next season and through the off season?
Just eliminating those basic football 101 mistakes, not letting the edge player on a punt block team come off free. Little things that we call them brain farts, or having a cover 3 get blown up for 3 touchdowns deep. When you're not playing your responsibilities. Just little things like that, right? And that at the end of the day, it hangs on the coach's shoulders, because these kids need to grow as players and they need to grow as athletes. And so, at the end of the day, it's on our shoulders to make sure these kids get better.
Curtis, for you, I looked at the standings and I looked at the schedule ahead. So you're 3-3, or have third place by way of the tiebreaker over Okanagan right now, and I think that second meeting with them is going to be really big. But what's your focus going into the second, or I shouldn't say the second half, but the final 4 games? And I mean, is it lock down third, strive for second? Where are you guys at?
You know what, Dom? For us, it's going to be that cliche. We're worried about just the next play. Execution for us is going to be massive going forward. That's going through our last bit of film is getting everyone ready to go. Second place, that'd be great. Third place, fourth place, playoffs. It's about playoffs and about being prepared. We want to peak at the right time. It's not just one week at a time. It's more like one day at a time. For us, just getting better continuously and filling the gaps and just being prepared for everything.
Rob, Curtis, I appreciate both of your time. Best of luck this weekend, gentlemen, and safe travels to you as well, Curtis.
Hey, thanks
Tom. See you later, Coach.
See you, Rob.